Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2020. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and welcome to the commencement of the Metuchen High School class of 2020. I'd like to thank Dr. Caputo, Mr. Paragallo, Mrs. Paredes, the MHS faculty, and our parents and family, who have made all of this possible, despite the recent challenges that our town and our society have endured. Seniors, 12 years of hard work, a few tears, a little bit of stress, and plenty of amazing memories have brought us to this point. The point where our classmates, teachers, and family refer to us as seniors for the last time in high school. Our educational journey here in Metuchen has been one of many great lasts and firsts. We first walked through those looming doors of Campbell School in 2008. It was the first time we were in school for a full day, and we spent our elementary years listening to the wise words of the safety ambassadors, perfecting our cursive writing, and running for class president. We celebrated one of our last days at Campbell with an ice cream party at the field, saying goodbye to our teachers who taught us how to read, add, and ask questions. Over that summer, we began to worry about what the first day of Edgar would be like. Although we had our own 5th grade wing away from the scary 8th graders, Edgar came with a new set of rules, teachers, and expectations. However, we began to understand that our middle school years would help us develop our sense of independence. Many of us received our first cell phones and took the trip to Camp Mason, where we had our first interactions with seniors. We were amazed by how tall they were and how mature they seemed, but above all, we saw the people we would eventually become. In our final year, we realized that it would be the last time we would be the oldest to stroll the halls, at least for another 4 years. On our first day as freshmen here at Metuchen High School, we walked into what we quickly learned was Times Square. We had our first shot at Battle of the Classes, where in typical freshman form, we lost terribly. Sophomore year brought new opportunities, such as attending Harvard Model Congress, making the varsity soccer team, and earning the starring role in the spring musical. Junior year was our first experience of driving independently and the first attempt at the SAT. Now, as those tall and mature seniors, we have cheerily recited the morning announcements. We have served as peer leaders and National Honor Society officers. And in recent months, we have banded together to show our school and our community what it means to be tenacious during a time of many unexpected lasts. No one imagined that our last day in English class, the cafeteria, or the locker room would be an unsuspecting Thursday in March. No one knew it would be the last time we would walk these familiar grounds as students. No one thought that we would have to say our last goodbyes to our teachers through email or on Zoom. COVID-19 has brought an end to many moments in a way that we were simply not prepared for. However, we had faced these difficult moments with maturity and grace, and we now look to those prospective days, months, and years, and with their many exciting firsts. We will experience our first day in college, in the workforce, or in the military. It will be the first time that we live without our parents and understand that being 18 does truly mean being an adult. For many of us, we'll have our first opportunity to vote in a presidential election. And we will make our first new friend in whatever city, dorm, job, or other place we have chosen to pursue in our next step in life. The future we had planned as recently as January does look different now. When we look back on all those great lasts we've had, the last time supporting our champion cheerleading squad at the football games, the last song our award-winning jazz ensemble played at the state finals, the last GMC victory our senior field hockey players celebrated, and our last Battle of the Classes triumph in February, it is clear that we will walk away from Metuchen High School equipped with remarkable memories and the ability to take on anything the future holds. Congratulations, class of 2020. I wish you the best and have the deepest confidence that your last day here is your next great first. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Vincent Caputo.
I will start my graduation speech to the class of 2020 with the same greeting I have used in my weekly communications to Metuchen during this pandemic. I hope this message finds you well. Class of 2020, you have persevered these last 3 months. You have shown great compassion for each other and for your neighbors and for our frontline workers. For that, I am grateful. You have continued with your learning, albeit in a remote fashion, and you are preparing for life after Metuchen High School. For these things, I am proud. In this final message to you as Metuchen High School students, I wanted to look back before looking forward. So come back with me to the year 2000. Time magazine had published a 5-issue series that spring entitled Visions for the 21st Century. Recently, we were cleaning out our basement and I found the April 10th issue, Visions of Space and Science. I had kept it, figuring it would be interesting to see if the author's predictions for 2025 would have come true. Since we are 5 years away, let's see if the predictions were accurate. The authors asked a number of questions like, will we travel back in time? Will we find another universe? Will we know how the brain works? Will we clone a dinosaur? Will someone run a 3-minute mile? The answers to when these mysteries may be solved varied from 50 years to possibly 1,000 years. One prediction in the issue was that we would routinely have human exploration of Mars by 2025. While that doesn't look like it will happen now, just 5 years away, late last month, NASA astronauts were launched from U.S. soil for the first time in many years. So who knows? Members of the class of 2020, what do your futures hold? For one, as we see every day now, frontline workers are critical. So if your future plans find you in retail, in law enforcement, or in the medical field, please accept my thanks in advance. What if your plans have you pursuing technology or scientific research? The April 2000 issue of Time included the following in its introduction. Is there anything in this universe, except perhaps the mind of a rebellious teenager, that is stranger than the bright cutting edge of science? Use your passions and your rebellious minds to solve the problems of tomorrow. Environmental and climate scientists will grapple with the issues of human impact on the Earth. Our future depends on those of you who can use scientific data and convince the politicians that these are issues worthy of our full attention. Regardless of what your future jobs are, I know that social responsibility will be a major part of them. Even the largest corporations today understand that to increase their bottom lines, they must encourage love and compassion for each other. I recently read a tweet that made another prediction. It said that when future history books are written, that the year 2020 would have its very own chapter. It's been quite a year already, and we still have 6 months left. Hang in there. I think it's probably appropriate to close with a quote from Maya Angelou. Hate, it has caused a lot of problems in the world, but has not solved one yet. Metuchen High School class of 2020, I implore you to choose love over hate. And I want to express my confidence in you that your generation will make this world a significantly better place. Congratulations on your graduation from Metuchen High School.
Good evening, family, friends, administrators, teachers, and graduates of the class of 2020. I am honored to speak before you today. I would first like to thank Dr. Caputo, Mr. Paragallo, and Mrs. Paredes, as well as all of the teachers and staff who have supported us throughout the past 4 years and worked hard to make this year's graduation as close to normal as it could be. We would also never be where we are today without the support of our family and friends, who have shown us boundless love and encouragement throughout our journey over the last 12 years. For those of you who know me well, you probably know that I love to be organized and that my personal motto is, when in doubt, make a list. So not surprisingly, before starting at Metuchen High School, being overwhelmed with all of the new classes and opportunities that awaited me, I decided to make a bucket list full of all of my goals that I wanted to achieve before graduating. But this list was not formed overnight. We had all been dreaming about growing up and starting high school since our very first day at Campbell. We longed for independence, but for the time being, our actions were guided by our parents. They crafted our bucket lists, filling our afternoons with swimming and music lessons, art classes, karate, soccer, baseball, and ballet. As we made our way to Edgar, we experienced our first taste of autonomy. With many new activities, sports, and clubs to choose from, we transitioned from youth recreational leagues to club sports, explored our creativity in improv and art club, and discovered new passions as we designed, built, and raced our very own model cars in woodshop. As we began to fine-tune our lists and figure out what our long-term ambitions would be, we met others with common interests and built relationships with our teachers, coaches, and teammates. By the time we reached 8th grade, we were no longer following a bucket list our parents wrote for us. We were writing the list ourselves. Then, as bottom of the food chain freshmen, we formed ideas of what we wanted to accomplish during our 4 years at Metuchen High School. Some of us wanted to be star athletes, while others dreamed of getting a lead in a Footlighters production, becoming a club president, or helping to bring home a victory in Battle of the Classes. With these goals in mind, we spent our time at MHS balancing academics and extracurriculars. Our afternoons and evenings were filled with hours of activities, ranging from basketball to French club, marching band to field hockey, breaking the chain to long work shifts, all while maintaining our grades and our friendships. At times, our daunting lists of homework and commitments felt impossible to tackle, but we always had a large support group to guide us. Our teachers offered extra help, working around our busy schedules, showing us that it is okay to seek out assistance when we feel discouraged or lost. Our classmates held group study sessions, teaching us that a team success is just as satisfying as an individual one. Our friends encouraged us to take risks, and our families showered us with love, proving that constant support can propel us to strive for any goal. Most importantly, all of these people helped us to realize that our lists aren't so much about what is on them, but rather the growth we experience as we work toward them, and the pride we feel in finding and developing new talents and strengths. In the words of journalist L.Z. Granderson, accolades and lists may tell us about accomplishments, but life is meant to be experienced, not just accomplished. As a freshman, I found tremendous satisfaction in crossing off the items on my own lists, placing that check mark next to each completed task. But now I understand that these lists do not have to serve as a roadmap of everything one must achieve in order to be successful. Instead, we should enjoy the friendships we develop, the hobbies we pick up, the memories we make with loved ones, and the little triumphs along the way. Regardless of what your future plans entail, you have exciting new adventures ahead of you. You can leave Metuchen High School with the confidence that you are ready to aspire to greatness in college, in the military, in your career, in New Jersey, Florida, California, or wherever your list may take you. Congratulations and best of luck to you, the class of 2020. Thank you.
Welcome, friends and family, to the graduation of the Metuchen High School class of 2020. I would first like to give my thanks to Dr. Caputo, Mr. Paragallo, Mrs. Paredes, Mr. Cohen, the custodial and administrative staff that have made this possible, every teacher who has paved the way to our successes, and every family member and friend who has been there to support us throughout the past 12 years. As I reflect on our time in Metuchen, I cannot help but think of music. Perhaps this is my experience in the Metuchen music program talking, but to me, these last 12 years of our academic lives have felt remarkably similar to a piece of jazz music. We began with the introduction of the piece. The soft percussion fell into its swing, and the rhythm found its groove as 169 six-year-olds first graced the halls of Campbell School. Faces alight with wonder and curiosity, we entered our time in Metuchen with all the fervor of a starting cymbal crash. Soon after, the horns entered, and we found ourselves in the melody of the tune. Years passed, and the same faces grew throughout our time as middle schoolers, where we began to form some of the deepest friendships we have ever known. The melody took us through its chord changes, and we witnessed our united growth, socially, intellectually, and personally. Through the past 4 years, though, we have experienced the most exciting part of the piece, the improvisation. High school has delivered many challenges, and our accomplishment of graduation that we now claim was not an easy feat. The members of this class have grown up in a time where our world has faced some of our most trying adversities, socially and politically. Though it may be easy to feel defeat during such difficult global moments, our class has risen to the occasion time and again. We have seen the legalization of gay marriage, the widespread reinvigoration of young people in politics, and the rise in protests for peace and equality, and we continue to speak out for the good of our community and our world as a whole. Especially now, as we live through a historic moment in civil rights, we have found our opportunity to be outspoken for human rights and join in the fight for racial justice. My favorite musician, J. Cole, once said, "They say anything is possible, you've got to dream like you've never seen obstacles." We are not a group to cower at unexpected obstacles. Rather, we find our greatest strength in our abilities to improvise, unite, and overcome. It goes without saying that this graduating year has been remarkable. After 12 years of learning, laughing, and growing by each other's sides, our class's journey has ended in the midst of a global pandemic. And the faces we've grown so used to smiling at every morning are now only visible behind masks and screens. On paper, it seems like a less than desirable way of ending our time as high school students, and the reality has not been easy. Nevertheless, the way we have approached this ending is the perfect encapsulation of the spirit, heart, and unity of the class of 2020. Now more than ever, we have had to put our jazz improv skills to the test. Rather than allowing ourselves to succumb to the difficulties of this unexpected situation, we have turned to our community and filled ourselves with purpose. It takes immense strength to resist spending the end of our senior year surrounded by friends and family, but our class has set our personal wishes aside in favor of maintaining public health and joining in the fight against COVID-19. As I reflect on the fortitude of my peers throughout the past few months, I am so proud to be part of the class of 2020. Looking to the faces of my fellow students, I see future politicians, doctors, athletes, comedians, artists, musicians, educators. I see students who will fill their loved ones with pride as they embark on incredible journeys in the years to come. I see leaders that I know will devote themselves to improving the world and to creating a future of equality, peace, and opportunity. In typical jazz fashion, we close with a reminder of our introduction, and those same Campbell School faces, still alight with curiosity, now look to the future with all the wonderment of our 6-year-old eyes. Fellow graduates and friends, you comprise the most extraordinary group of people I've ever met, and you possess unlimited potential to put your kindness toward global betterment. You think with the sharpness of mathematicians and act with the passion of revolutionaries. I want to thank you all today for teaching me and so many others the meaning of strength and the power in determination. I wish you the best today, tomorrow, and always thereafter. I know that you will not only move mountains, but also skies, seas, and stars. Our jazz piece has been beautiful, and I look forward to listening to all the music we will make in our future endeavors. Thank you, and congratulations, 2020.
Teenager Violet Harris in 1918 wrote in her diary when the Spanish influenza struck her hometown of Seattle. It was announced in the papers tonight that all churches, shows, and schools would be closed until further notice. Over 100 years ago, Violet's life was changed, and so have the lives of the MHS class of 2020. I stand before you today as an educator for 43 years and a high school principal for the last 11. I have been shaped and changed by lessons learned in school, by various mentors, and by this historic pandemic. By definition, a school is an educational institution designed to provide a learning environment for the teaching of students under the direction of teachers. We have all been shaped by what we have been taught in school. But what happens when our school year is so abruptly altered? What are the lessons from this pandemic, and what can they teach us? First, I think we have learned that this school is more than a brick building located at 400 Grove Avenue in Metuchen, New Jersey. Second, our school is more than lessons learned from textbooks and a curriculum. Third, school is more than the park, AP tests, SATs, and ACTs. And finally, it's more than my favorite subject, physical education. Now that all this has been altered, our new normal has taught us the following valuable life lessons. We need face-to-face social interaction. We are social beings who want to shake hands, give group hugs, and high fives. We need our friends. Recently, one teacher shared that on his way into the school during this lockdown, in the early morning, he observed 3 MHS students sitting on the curb in front of the empty building. When questioned as to why they were just sitting there, they replied that they were drawn to their school to watch the sunrise together. We crave routine and structure. We want to be held accountable even if there is no regular bell-driven school day, no after-school sports practices, no non-essential business employment, no weekend sports events, no spring musical with late-night rehearsals, and no music concerts filled with cheering fans. Now, as graduates during a 2020 global pandemic, you have learned to deal with loss, perhaps the loss of a close friend or a relative from the COVID-19. You have lost graduation rituals, the prom, the senior class trip, yearbook signings, senior sports banquets, and award ceremonies. Sadly, the auditorium and the sports bleachers remain empty, and the halls an eerie silent. One MHS senior laminates, "We didn't get a chance to say goodbye to others like teachers and underclassmen who mean so much to us." But she adds, "It's important to help our community get through difficult times and a global health crisis." Let me share what I have personally learned during this changed spring season. As a lifelong learner, I have had to adapt from a comfortable school setting to a technological platform, which I admit has been much easier for my younger staff. I and my staff had to make sure the entire student body's wellness was checked on. How was each student doing emotionally, and how was each family unit faring in this new home instruction? Fortunately, the MHS school community was embraced by the entire Metuchen town community. Just drive or walk down Main Street and see the graduation banners celebrating our 2020 graduates. This graduating class is spirited, intelligent, athletic, diverse, artistically talented, and definitely adaptable. I would especially like to thank you, parents, guardians, and grandparents, and commend you for raising fine young men and women who have survived a moment in history and who I think have learned valuable lessons in this place we call school. In the end, we are still here, just like Violet Harris, who survived the 1918 pandemic. Together, we can get through much because the human spirit is alive and well in Metuchen. As I now bid you farewell, I will leave you with this line from a Clint Eastwood film, Absolute Power. Tomorrow is promised to no one, but I want you all to remember that Metuchen will always be your home. Dr. Caputo and Mr. Small, I am very proud, privileged, and honored to present the class of 2020.
Congratulations, class of 2020. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ben Small. I'm a member of the Metuchen Board of Education and father of Hannah, Metuchen High School class of 2017, and Isabel, this year's class of 2020. I would like to thank Justin Manley, Board President, for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Metuchen Board of Education to celebrate and honor this incredible graduating class. And during this last year of my fourth and final term as the Betty White of the member of the Metuchen Board of Education. Like Betty White's acting career, I feel like I've been on the Board of Ed forever. I'm sure you never thought your senior year and graduation would play out quite this way, but I'm proud of you for working hard to be better allies for humankind and trying to make the best of it during these unprecedented times. I'd like to discuss 3 numbers with you today, starting with the number 2,340. That's the number of days you've attended school in the Metuchen School District starting in kindergarten. 37% of your time over the past 13 years. Think about how much you have learned, experienced, and grown during that time. You've gone from being young children to young adults. What will you take away as your memories from that time, and how will you use what you've learned here throughout your life? The next number is 5. I'd like to share with you my top 5 bits of advice as you move on from Metuchen High School. Number 1, be kind. Treat everyone and everything in life as you would like to be treated. You're no better nor inferior than other people. We're all equal and everyone deserves to be treated as such. Number 2, work hard. Almost everyone gets lucky once in a while. Almost everything worthwhile in life is accomplished through hard work. Professional athletes, musicians, aeronautical engineers, teachers, or any other career you can think of, those who accomplish great things in life put in the time to hone their skills and be the best that they can be. 3, have fun. Life is short, fragile, and uncertain, so make sure that you take the time to have fun. Don't put it off to tomorrow. Find the time to have fun and laugh today. Number 4, expect and embrace challenge. Now, in the midst of a global health pandemic and a civil rights crisis, more than ever, we need to acknowledge that we can't always control everything that happens in life. Challenges will always be present. It isn't a matter of when we will be faced with challenges, but how we cope with them and overcome them. And 5, do what you love. Find what you love to do for your career, your hobbies, and pursue them. It's not all about the money. If you find and love what you do, you will figure out how to make the money work. Millionaires are made by everyday people that budget well and save, not just from people that make 7 figures, oftentimes ending up spending all that they have earned and having saved nothing. And the last number is 1. You are the one and only you. Be happy with yourself. Don't worry about what other people think about you or your decisions. Amy Schumer said it best during last month's CNN Class of 2020 in This Together special when she said, quote, "Don't try and make your parents proud of you. Try and make yourself happy. Be happy and healthy and live every day like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, because you don't," end quote. I personally am pretty sure that if you follow a lot of the things I talked about today, your parents are going to be super proud of you anyway. Congratulations on graduation. I wish you much happiness, good health, and success in wherever your journey takes you. I would like to close by recognizing your classmate, Emily Almeida's father, Jose, who has inspired us at many Metuchen field hockey and football games for many years with his infamous bulldog bark. Go Bulldogs! Arr, 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 arr.
Charlotte Naima Hawk, Rebecca Elizabeth Trostman, Samantha Jane Anton, Kathleen Oinana Apau, Ariel O'Donnell Benderly, Mariam Sameh Awadallah Sadek Bashara, Joshua Sushil Bujbal, Sophie Charlotte Harriet Breeze, April Gwynedd Kalish, Patrick Francis Kasha, Jacob Maxwell Cherry, Joshua Stephen Chuzano, Alexandra Jade Ciardiello, Jonathan Michael Davis, Flavia Delafemine, Risha Indranil Desai, Prajit Arun Durhi, Manvita Dodapanini, Isabella Antonio Elster, Ian Da Silva Emmanuel, Isabella Rose Favuza, Karina Jacqueline Gallagher, Catherine Ann Garner, Max Chabra Gerlach, Laura Michelle Jordan, Sanando Kanjalal, Swagato Kanjalal, Erica Catherine Kosman, Raphael Joaquim Segu Laxon, Francis Lee, John Lee, Joy Jing Lee, Diego Jesus Ligeron, Sophie Lena Lipschutz, Julianna Brienne Margolin, Rebecca Eliana Margolin, Tasha Dia Pace, Anushka Pandy, Smruti Hitesh Patel, Elizabeth Cutie Patton, Rebecca Elizabeth Perlmutter, Aaron Lewis Puerzer, Luke Brendan Rivera. Isabel Ruiz. Annabella Russo. Yukthi Kiran Sangoy. Daniel James Schleif. Jackson Luke Schneer. Anna Nicole Sigelkin. Megan Faith Shen. Nelson June Shi. Talia K. Sifnakis. Isabel Drew Small. James Pierce Strouser. Sarah Marie Terracina. Alicia Elizabeth Valera. Jordan Kelsey Valaket. Abigail Elizabeth Varga. Lara Marissa Vaz. Alexandra Wong. Alex Wu. Connie Ying. Jody Bernadette Zhang. Christian Patrick Augusto. Grace Alar Wetzel. Emily Claypool Almeida. Aaron Joshua Antaporta. Mackenzie Michelle Baker. Allie E. Beck. Jonathan Benderly Kremen. Nicholas Donato Bianchini. Ryan T. Bosworth. Angelina D. Buda. Janine Bustamante. Dimitrios Joseph Karatsas. Kristen Amanda Chan. Tyler Clancy. Thomas Christian Cortez. Benjamin Patrick Cunningham. Michael DeCoit III. Ethan Joseph DeLizzo. Kenneth Dong Yuan Deng Marcus. Justin Robert Director. Joseph Thomas DeVizio. Christina Felicia DeStazo. Alexander Dormoy. Domonique Diamond Dudley. Vincenza Evelyn Eccleston. Elijah Irvin. Julia Fugia Fenton. James J. Flynn V. Noah Song Fong. Sydney John Frank. Andrew Fuentes. Daniel Harley Fuse. Saskia Anahi Garcia. Angelina Cameron Gassaway. Madison Rado Rose Gigerich. Kayla Gill. Margaret Jinsunling Gross. Caitlin Guerrero. Parth Gujrathi, Alexandra Pauline Harkness, J. Joseph Harry, Coral Ann Hines, Gavin Zhang, Elizabeth Ann Yorchek, Jonathan Ryan Cantar, Abraham Shaw Chambers Kaplan, Matthew J. Karlovich, Sierra Marie Kelley, Michael Husainov, Newt Robert Knoll, Michael Patrick Knoll, Allie Fitzgerald Codilla, Madison Marie Korchik, Frederick Solberg Krebs, Nicholas Ladow, Eric Robert Leaf, Sean Jin-Young Lee, Madeline Grace Lennon, Eric Robert Lewandowski, Zizong Liu, Isabella Luciano, Carly Danielle Manfrey, Stephen Robert Morosi, Joshua Nicholas Mateos, Davy Mahea, Helena Teresa Mersich, Madison Ann Miller, Angelina Mota, Al-Hassan Mustafa, Zachary Gordon Murray, Carly Nicole Newcomen, Giovanni Ortega, Kushi Deepan Parikh, Jordan Alexis Perez, Sophia Rose Perillo, Jessica Marie Plunkett, Sarah Jane Prahadka, Harris Kaiser, Colin Spencer Qualls, Haley Robb, Erica Gale Rems, Evan Bernard Ridgway, Emma Rose Rogers, Dina Abdulela Samko, Bridget Marcia Sanger, Aditya Sarkar, Andrew Charles Shugel, Paul Sclafani, Donald Richard Solomon, Maya Rachel Solomon, Akash Ray Sud, Luke Anthony Spaltro, Giacomo M. Spaziano, Nolan Joseph Spera, Arun Doshi Subramanian, Connor Michael Suki, Andrew Peter Sullivan. Angelina Marie Toomey. Dylan Vella. Emma Rose Walters. Alison Westcott. Regina Wilcox. Ryan Harold Wilson. Michelle Yankelevich. Luke Tyler Young. Yusef George Zaki.
Giving the closing remarks at graduation has always been one of my proudest moments as assistant principal, and I would like to sincerely thank Mr. Perrgallo and Mr. Stike for allowing me the privilege to do so one last time. You didn't have to extend that invitation, and I very much appreciate that you did. Also, truth be told, I have been very fond of this class since they first entered MHS, and I really wanted to send them off, so thank you again. Of the 11 closing remarks I have written, this one, for several reasons, was by far the most difficult to write. But then again, a lot of things have been difficult for us these days. Graduates, you have had an exceptionally unusual ending to your time here at MHS. We, as a global society, have been faced with a lot of pain, loss, and uncertainty, to name a few things, and we are now met with the daunting challenge of making decisions on how best to move forward. It would be easy during a time like this to focus on the negative and feel down about the obstacles we face and all of the wonderful things we are missing. But seniors, when I look at you, look at the fine young men and women you have become, and think of your accomplishments over the past 4 years, I'm not filled with sadness or despair. Rather, I'm filled with hope. I'm filled with hope for you, for your future, and for our future as human beings. You have always risen to the many different challenges you faced individually and collectively. When I think about this senior class, I think about students leading the charge in the Fed Challenge these past 2 years and shining on such a prestigious stage. I think of the countless pounds of food this class has donated to the food pantry in an effort to feed those who go without. I think of our DARE role models who on the fly became anti-vaping ambassadors and co-authored our school's brand new anti-vaping education program for our middle school students, program that will become the next successful peer-to-peer intervention program in our school and in our district. I think of our seniors who, in the face of sometimes grueling family situations, sacrifice for their loved ones on a daily basis and keep fighting for themselves and for those about whom they care. When I think of our seniors, I don't see wounded teenagers who missed out. I see champions and I see fighters, and that gives me hope that our future is in good hands. As you leave us tonight, graduates, my advice to you is that you not only remain hopeful, but that you also actively find hope everywhere you can, particularly in situations where it may seem that there is none to be found. That may sound a lot easier said than done, and I know I made a very tough decision this year to step down as assistant principal, a choice that I never thought I would ever make or feel like I had to make. And I can tell you that what makes it okay for me is that it was 100% rooted in hope. You have more energy, more power, and more control when you have hope. Most of all, when you have hope, you have a much more positive effect on those around you. And right now, that's really what we need the most. On behalf of Metuchen High School, I would like to congratulate the graduates and extend a sincere thank you to the families and staff members who helped them get here and who joined us this evening for our virtual commencement program. And now, from wherever you are viewing, please join me in one final round of applause for the class of 2020.